One day, the kingdom of the peaceful mushroom people was invaded by the Koopa, a tribe of turtles famous for their black magic. The quiet, peace-loving mushroom people were turned into mere stones, bricks, and even field horsehair plants, and the mushroom kingdom fell into ruin. The only one who can undo the magic spell on the mushroom people and return them to their normal selves is the Princess Toadstool, the daughter of the Mushroom King. Unfortunately, she is presently in the hands of the Great Koopa Turtle King. Mario, the hero of the story, maybe, hears about the Mushroom people's plight and sets out on a quest to free the Mushroom Princess from the evil Koopa and restore the fallen kingdom of the Mushroom people. You are Mario! It's up to you to save the Mushroom people from the black magic of the Koopa. Hello everyone! Welcome to this game! So, just so y'all know, yes, I am streaming this live at this moment at Twitch, but just because I'm doing this live doesn't mean I can't have a little bit of fun and make a little bit of pre-recorded content. I haven't done any video editing in a while, and I thought that would be kind of fun. And it was. Anyway, it's Super Mario Brothers. Everybody knows Super Mario Brothers, right? In fact, I especially know this game, and I've got a few childhood memories to share as we go on this adventure, so that's going to be pretty fun. Now, that said, I'm going to go ahead and let this demo play out real quick. Watch Mario die. Hopefully I won't be doing too much of that myself. Now then, let's go ahead and get started. So, this is not the first time that I've Let's Played Super Mario Brothers. I actually did it once before, way back in 2009, during my first year of Let's Playing. I was kind of new then, and I really wanted to attract an audience, and I figure what better way to attract an audience than to play a Mario game. I mean, Mario is super popular, and what better Mario game to play than the original Super Mario Brothers? Well, of course it really didn't matter that I Let's Play Super Mario Brothers because it did not attract the audience that I was hoping to attract. Now, one could argue that it was because, you know, YouTube, algorithms, and that sort of thing. But in actuality, I think the reason why my Super Mario Brothers Let's Play did not attract any subscribers is because it is probably the worst Let's Play that I have ever done. Let's start with the video quality. The video quality was crap. The screen was all jittery, the frame rate was questionable, and I'm gonna double check to make sure that I am having my mic on. Yep, okay. There's a few times, by the way, where I practiced or tried out, tested that opening, and a few times I forgot to turn my mic on, but yes, my mic is on. Anyway, back to the original Let's Play. Yeah, video quality was crappy. Oh, there was also this screen smearing going on for some reason, where it seemed like chunks of the level would get stuck on screen. Don't know what was up with that, but it was pretty dang ugly. But perhaps the worst thing about my original Let's Play was that because of my recording setup, I wound up sucking at Super Mario Brothers. And in actuality, I'm actually pretty good at the game, as you probably can tell. But I'm not sure what the deal with that is, whether... Well, the recording setup that I had was basically... let's see here. I did not have a microphone cord long enough to play on my TV while also recording to my computer. So my solution was to play using the screen capture on my capture program. And that was not the best idea. I don't know if it was because of the frame rate of my capture program, or if it was because of some sort of input delay, screen delay, something like that. But yeah, I sucked a lot. There were a lot of deaths, a lot of game overs. I wound up performing the 1-up trick in World 3, and still got a game over in World 5. And after dealing with that, it's like, you know, this isn't working out. And so, my next solution was to perform the cardinal sin of Let's Plays and put a camera in front of my TV. The good news is, this made it easier to play, because I was actually playing on my TV, therefore I was playing a whole lot better. No more game overs. The bad news is, the video quality was even worse than before. The screen was blurry, and there was these bars of gray and black that were kind of wiping across the screen. So, yeah. All these factors are pretty much why I consider my original Let's Play of Super Mario Bros. To be the worst Let's Play I ever did. One of a few, actually. There's a couple other Let's Plays I did in my first year where they were just plain bad, and I'll be getting to those games after I'm done with this game. That said, what are the details of this game? Well, the plan here is I'm doing a normal run of this game starting off, and then after I beat it, then on Wednesday, I'm going to play through this game's hard mode, as well as check out the Minus World. So that should be interesting. And like I said, I'm also going to be kind of reminiscing about my childhood, because childhoods are important. Excuse me a sec, I'm gonna kill this fake Bowser and rescue the first of many Toads. Speaking of Toads, I'm playing the NES version, by the way, on the original NES, because why emulate when you can play the legit copy? But this game also got remade for the Super Nintendo on Super Mario AllStars. Not only did it have like enhanced graphics and sound, but in the case of the Toads, each Toad you saved had a special animation. It was kind of neat. Now, you might be wondering, why not play the Super Mario AllStars version? Because I just wanted to play the original. A lot of people tend to focus on the AllStars remake, and I wanted to play the original because it's the sort of the road less traveled, I guess you could say. But also because the Minus World is not something you can do in the remake. Just real quick, I'm going to pop out on that pipe over to the right, just so you know where this pipe here is going. Oh yeah, that's another thing that I'm going to be doing between runs. My first run, I'm going to be going through a certain set of pipes, like I have been doing. And then on the hard mode run, just so it's a little bit different, I'm going to be going through a different set of pipes, as well as taking a couple of warp zones. So that'll kind of hopefully make things interesting. Now, of course, I am playing this solo, but this game does have a 2-player mode. And, of course, player 2 is Luigi. Unfortunately, back in the day, Luigi was basically just a recolor. He was Mario, but wearing a green shirt and white overalls. And then when Luigi had the fire power, he looked exactly like Mario has the fire power. Speaking of 2-player, if you ever decide to play Super Mario Bros. 2-player, I highly suggest the Super Mario All-Stars version, because there's an interesting quirk with the original NES Super Mario Bros. Most games, when you're playing 2-player mode, the way it works is your turn ends when you die or when you beat a level. In the NES version of Super Mario Bros., your turn only ends when you die. So it's kind of an issue if you happen to be really good at the game. For example, I haven't died yet, which means that if I was playing on 2-player mode, player 2 is still waiting for their turn right now. Now this wasn't a problem back in the day. You see, I got this game when I was young. Well, both me and my twin sister got this game when we were young. And of course, when we were young and this game was relatively new, we were not really experienced with platformers. In fact, we haven't really played any platformers before this, unless you wind up counting frogs and flies. So it took us a while before we actually got good at this game. And so each other's turns would come up fairly often. But once we got good, though, it was definitely a winning game for each player. In fact, sometimes, instead of playing against each other, one of us would play against our dad. He would sometimes play with us. And anytime it was one of our turn, our dad would basically just leave the room, because he knew it was going to be a while before his turn came up. And besides, watching somebody else play a game is boring. By the way, I want to give a thanks to my twin sister for getting this controller working. She was having her turn with our NES, and I told her that I wanted to have our NES back, and she... Ow. She, of course, made sure that the NES was working, and while the NES was working, neither of our controllers were working. So she fixed this one up, and I'm definitely appreciate that. I don't know if the other controller's working. I didn't really need it, so maybe she didn't bother fixing it. Interesting story about the other controller, by the way. One time, we were transferring our NES over to our grandparents, and I kind of made the mistake of having that other controller not in the car all the way, and so it wound up dragging on the road on the way to my grandparents. Still worked, though. I mean, it doesn't now, but it has nothing to do with getting knocked around on the road. The worst that happened to it is basically it got chewed up a little. Without the firepower, that's a little bit more difficult. Can I glitch this? No, not that time. There's an interesting glitch where it's possible to get hit by Bowser and get the axe at the same time, and so you die, but you still win. I'd like to actually succeed at that at some point during this playthrough, but we'll see. And now it's nighttime. This game has a pretty interesting situation with the passage of time. This adventure basically takes multiple days to get through. As you go on through the adventure, certain worlds are played at nighttime. So I thought that was kind of an interesting touch. Thinking back, by the way, hold on a sec, just to point out, there's supposed to be a 1-up there, and the trigger for getting the 1-up is to get all the coins a couple levels ago, but I missed one, so no 1-up for me. Anyway, back to when me and my sister got this NES. No, I have something else to point out. That trampoline sucks. Screw that trampoline. I hate the trampolines in this game. They all suck, especially that one, so I always skip it. Speaking of skip, There's a vine up there that goes to a bonus area, but I'll skip it for now. Alright, enough distractions, except there's going to be one coming up. Darn it. Okay, I have another story to tell about when we initially got our NES, but it's going to come up after I do the one-up trick, because that is about to come up. Also, hello there, Lit Dragon and Bear Force. Welcome to my stream. I'm already in World 3-1. Alright, kill that guy because he's going to get in the way, and then fail the one-up trick. Well, that's a bummer. I'll get another chance to do it. But in case I don't, you basically repeatedly bounce on the Koopa and get a whole bunch of one-ups out of it. And for some reason, it's only doable when you're big. So keep that in mind. Oh well, since I wasn't able to do the one-up trick, I can actually tell my little story about when me and my twin sister got our NES for Christmas one year. Now, I don't remember the actual event. We do have it on home video though, and I was apparently really excited for getting the NES because I was shouting, "Hey Nintendo!" And I missed the chance on that one up. Oh well. If you kick that Koopa that I accidentally kicked off the ledge, but instead you kick it into all the other Koopas, you get a one-up out of it. Anyway, I don't know how I knew about the NES back then, but I apparently knew about it since I shouted it with glee when I got it. But one thing I do remember is actually opening it up and playing it for the first time. I still remember it in the package with all the styrofoam. It wasn't this copy of Super Mario Bros., by the way. It was actually a copy of Super Mario Bros. With Duck Hunt. And of course, since we got Duck Hunt, we also had the NES Zapper. It was the orange one, not the gray one. And we wound up playing it at my grandparents'. I want to say it was on a black and white TV. Hold on a sec, that's going to be in the way. Okay. I didn't know that was a thing. Apparently, despite knocking that off, the hitbox for this platform was still there. That's dumb. Okay, that kind of threw me off for a moment, so let me go over my notes. Okay, I looked at my notes. There's something else I want to bring up in case I don't manage to do the one-up trick later on. Don't go over 128 lives. That is sort of the max amount of lives you can have, except it's not really a cap in the NES version of Super Mario Bros. Instead, what happens is it'll roll over to somewhere in the negatives, which means that your next death will be an instant game over. So be careful about that. Not an issue in the Super Mario AllStars version, at least. Once again, I'm not going to be able to kill Bowser with fire, which means we can't reveal what Bowser really is in this stage. That's okay, it's not really that important to kill Bowser in every level. Playing through this level reminds me. Back in the day, I called these places firehouses, because they're full of fire. My invisibility frames were still going. An interesting thing is, No, wait. I was about to tell another story, but we just beat World 3, and now we're on World 4, which is Daylight again. And I actually wanted to go ahead and take an episode break after the first day. So, we will be right back. And when we come back, we will proceed into World 4, and I will tell you that story that I was about to tell.